small interview project today, I'll be interviewing me. The role of me may or may not be played by myself, but I will endeavour to answer the questions as we go through the project. Hi, it's a very special small interview project today where I'm interviewing myself. That's Tony in disguise, interviewing Tony Ozanne. Now, Tony Ozanne's a Canberra-based business coach, so let's get straight into it. And Tony, tell us a little bit about what it is you do. What do I do? Well, I'm a business coach primarily, working with business owners to help them either improve their process, their systems, to look at their operations, to look at the way in which the efficiency of their business is running, and also to, I guess, hold them accountable to their business, to have somebody to bounce ideas off, to challenge them, and to generally make sure that they're achieving the goals that they want for their business. And quite often it's actually helping them work out what those goals are, because it's surprising how many times we work with a business and they don't actually know what their goals are. So having a coach come into their business and work with them helps them actually determine where they want to go, and then we put a plan in place as to how to get there. In addition to that, I've also written a book, so I guess I can say I'm an author, and I've done a couple of speaking roles at some conferences. One of those recently was in Dubai, so I guess you could say I'm an international speaker as well. So that's pretty much what it is that I'm doing at the moment. Awesome, Tony. It must be a brilliant book, that one. I should get it myself. So tell me, why was it that you actually went into business in the first place? So I believe you had a bit of a corporate career. So why did you go into business? Yeah, look, that's a really good question. Why did I go into business? It wasn't something that was certainly planned. I'd worked with Yum restaurants for 23 years, I think it was, in various levels, and all around Australia, and spent 6 years in the Middle East, doing a lot of travel and all those sorts of things. So I missed a lot of the me time and the family time and the personal time. We came back to Australia in, I think, 2007, I think it was. Into Perth, and I was still doing quite a bit of travel there as well, and then moved to Canberra with an opportunity to sort of work with the KFC business over here. And just one day I just woke up and just said, look, I don't want to go to work anymore. And so my wife suggested I quit, and so I quit that day. And then I thought, what am I going to do now? So that's when I started looking at business opportunities, and my natural transition was to go into food, but then I decided to actually find something else, and I sort of fell into business coaching. I sort of saw it, and it was pretty much what I've been doing for the last 10 years of my career, working with general managers and working with franchisees and things like that to actually help them develop a plan and put that into place. So that's how I got to where I am today. So yeah. Right. Yes. Interesting. So, Tony, if you had your time over again, what would you change? Would you do anything differently, or would you sort of stick with the process that you started with as you went into this venture? Would I change anything? Look, I don't know. I looked at a few different organisations when I first started going down this path of getting into coaching. Sort of did my SWOT analysis and looked at the pros and cons of each of them. Look, I don't think I'd make any changes into the selection of the path I went down. I'd probably take my own advice and sort of have somebody coach me a little bit earlier. As a coach, well, we certainly have people who coach us. So it is working by yourself. You need somebody to actually keep you on track and keep you motivated, even if that's what you're doing as a business coach. You need to have someone come in and coach you and hold you accountable to your plans and help you work out where are you going, are you on track, and everything, because you do go through those ebbs and flows of the sales process, or of your marketing and all those sorts of things, and the frustration's up and down. But no, would I change anything? No, I don't think I would. I think I'm pretty happy with where I am at the moment, so that's all good. Right. And how about what's been your current biggest challenge that you've faced sort of since you've been in business? Because we all come across business challenges along the way. So what would be your biggest challenge that you faced? My biggest challenge in business, I guess my biggest challenge is, and the business challenge would be managing sort of the pipeline and keeping that whole funnel full of leads. Sometimes the actual sales cycle can take quite a few months to go through the process of meeting them and sort of getting into the stage where you build trust and build a relationship and actually get a chance to propose or present. So I guess the challenge is just maintaining that level of commitment and that level of marketing activity of various methods to to fill the pipeline so that you've got a constant stream of income coming in. So that would probably be the biggest challenge, I would say. Yes, that is a challenge, isn't it? Now look, one thing that I constantly talk to business owners about in my role is how do they balance working on versus in their business, because sometimes we get trapped working in the business and we don't put any strategic thinking behind the business. So how do you manage that as a business coach, Tony? Balancing on versus in. Look, I think I do that quite well. I probably spend a lot of my time working on the business sort of at night time. I sort of spend once the family and everyone have all retired for the evening, that's where I sort of pull out my computer and do some of my best stuff. So I think I'm fairly structured with that. I actually allocate time where I'll work on my plan or work on my strategy as to where I wanted to go with things. And the rest of it is your client meetings and other network meetings and everything that you have. They all get slotted into the calendar. I'm a very strong believer in using calendars, through, whether it be through your email or through Time Trade or something like that. Very structured in allocating the time and making sure that you're getting the appointments that you need to sort of get made. Make sure that you're sticking to those on the time management side of things. So when there's the business to be done, that's there. But when you're working on the business, I'd say probably night time's the time I spend that. But that's a conscious choice. It's not I could do it during the day if I wanted to, but quite often, based on my past career, I actually enjoy having some Tony time during the day to do different things if I don't have a busy day. So those people who are in business who have that flexibility, how good is it to go to the supermarket on a Monday morning or a Monday afternoon versus the Friday or the Saturday chaos that you have to go to, or the after school sort of things, or go and get a haircut in the middle of the day. All those things I think are really important, and I love doing that, so I wouldn't change the structure that I've got for working on versus in. And I'm sure you're very pleased to know this is my last question for you, Tony, but what advice would you have for somebody who's thinking about going into business? Any tips or suggestions for them? What advice for a potential newcomer? Well, I guess I give this advice to people all the time. So, look, obviously they need to get a business coach, and I know a couple of good ones, or maybe one good one anyway. Look, definitely don't jump into things without having a plan, without having a bit of a goal as to where you want to go with your business. What are the financial goals that you have? What's the structure that you want for your business? So seek that professional advice from an accountant to make sure that your company is set up for the growth or the path that it's going to go down. Not just for today, but for 10 years down the track or 5 years down the track. Make sure that you have working capital behind you, because there's nothing worse than seeing somebody with an awesome idea that's got great potential, but yet they run out of money after month two, and that great idea gets sucked up by somebody else, and they go and do get all the success from it. So look, I guess the main thing would be having that plan and actually knowing what the expectations are for achieving that plan. It's not easy. It's hard work. There's no silver bullet to sort of make anybody a millionaire or anything like that. So it's hard work, it's determination. It's don't just go into business if you just want to go and buy yourself a job, because there's plenty of I guess small franchises that you can do that. But if that's what you want for your own security, well, I guess that's the option that people take. But just look at where do you want your business to go, what do you need to do to get there, and have somebody, whether it's a coach, whether it's a family member, whether it's a mentor or another business owner that you've met through networking, have that person hold you accountable to that plan and meet with you regularly, discuss, brainstorm, challenge your ideas and your concepts, and just sort of see whether you're on track or not, because getting that independent perspective is often very good. So that would be my main advice for people going into business. Awesome, awesome. Look, Tony, thanks very much for taking part in this small interview project. Probably one of the best interviews I've seen so far, so no disrespect to any prior or following interviews, but I think it's just due to the style of the interviewee. So look, thanks for taking part in it, and look forward to talking to you soon.